This really isn't what it seems, chums, right? Let me explain, because as we know, there's a new royal wedding looming in a matter of days, in fact, the 6th of June. And this is the second wedding of course, Peter Phillips. I've met him. He's a lovely man, actually, really good fun. Actually, yeah, very good fun. And good looking, right, absolutely. And of course, his sister, Zara Phillips, another wonderful lady. And I've been lucky enough to know her, all thanks, of course, to her wonderful husband, Mike Tyndall.
Have you ever wanted to attend something, genuinely, desperately wanted to be there, but the one person standing between you and that invitation was the person you went home to every night? That is exactly where Prince Harry finds himself right now. On the 6th of June, his cousin Peter Phillips is getting married for the second time, a private family celebration, the kind of occasion that, in any normal version of Harry's life, he would have been at without question. Peter and Harry share a bond that goes back to one of the darkest moments either of them has ever lived through. That connection is real, it is documented, and by all accounts, Peter would have genuinely wanted Harry there. But Harry has not been invited, and the reason is not what you think. To understand why this wedding matters so much to Harry, and why his absence from it matters even more, you have to go back to the summer of 1997. Diana, Princess of Wales, had just died. Harry was 12 years old, William was 15, and the Queen, with the particular wisdom she applied to the most human moments in her reign, made a quiet decision. She asked Peter Phillips to go to Balmoral. The reasoning was straightforward. Harry was not going to open up to adults. He was not going to process his grief in formal settings with courtiers and counselors. But he might, with someone close to his own age, someone from within the family, someone without an agenda, begin to find his footing again. Peter was there. He showed up. And what developed between the two of them in those weeks was not a formal cousin relationship. It was a genuine friendship, the kind forged in the specific heat of shared loss that tends to last for life. It did last. Through Harry's years in the military, through the various chapters of royal life, through the gradual complications that came later, Peter and Harry remained genuinely close, which is precisely why this wedding invitation, or the absence of one, cuts as deeply as it does. The wedding that was supposed to be a bridge. Here is what sources close to the situation have confirmed. When Peter's second wedding began to take shape, Harry saw it as something more than a family celebration. He saw it as an opportunity, a natural, low-pressure setting. No palace protocols, no official duties, no cameras trained on the institution, where a degree of informal reconnection might be possible. A cousin's wedding, surrounded by family, could have been the kind of event where conversations happen quietly, where gestures are made without them becoming press statements, where the temperature between people slowly, gradually, humanly lowers. Harry, according to sources, was genuinely hoping for an invitation. Peter, by all accounts, would have been genuinely happy to extend one. The problem, as it so often is in this story, is the context that comes with Harry. And that context has a name. Why nobody wants the circus. Let's be clear about something that is uncomfortable to say plainly, but is, by all credible accounts, exactly what the people involved actually think. Harry himself is not the obstacle. The warm feeling toward Harry, from Peter, from members of the wider family, from people who knew him before all of this began, has not entirely evaporated. He is someone people feel genuinely fond of, even now. Meghan is a different calculation, and this is not about dislike in a personal sense. It is about something far more practical. It is about what happens to any event the moment Meghan Markle walks through the door. The cameras follow. The narrative shifts, the headlines stop being about the bride, her dress, her moment, the happiness of the occasion, and become about Meghan, her outfit, her expression, who she spoke to, who she avoided once. Ether. She seemed welcome, whether she seemed comfortable, whether she smiled at Camilla or didn't, whether William acknowledged her or didn't. Every camera in that room becomes trained on a sideshow. Every columnist in Britain files a piece about the reunion or the tension or the body language. The bride, the actual person whose day this is, becomes a supporting character in someone else's story. Nobody hosting a wedding wants that. Not Peter, not his bride, not the family members who would spend the entire event watching the coverage to see what angle had been chosen. Meghan knows this, by the way. It is not a secret to her, which is why, according to sources, there is a reasonable argument that even if an invitation had arrived, she would have found a reason not to go, and Harry, as has become the consistent pattern, would not have gone without her. Who is actually going? Here is the confirmed picture of the guest list as it currently stands. King Charles and Queen Camilla are attending. Their presence signals the significance the family attaches to Peter's occasion. This is not a peripheral gathering, it is a proper family event. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Edward and Sophie, have confirmed their attendance. Sophie has become one of the most quietly respected members of the working royal family, and their presence reflects the warmth the wider family holds for Peter. Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie have been invited and accepted. Eugenie's attendance may depend on where she is in her pregnancy by the time the day arrives, but the intention is there. William and Catherine have not, at the time of writing, formally confirmed, and this detail is important because the longer that confirmation does not come, the harder it becomes to extend any late invitation to Harry. If the Prince and Princess of Wales are attending, the dynamics of including Harry and Meghan become considerably more complicated. If William's attendance remains unconfirmed until close to the date, it provides a degree of dip. Lomatic cover for keeping the guest list exactly as it is. Prince Andrew will not be attending. That much is not a surprise to anyone. The trap tightens. Here is the part of this story that goes beyond the specific wedding and says something larger about where Harry actually is right now. He is trapped. Not by the royal family, not by the institution, but by the situation he is in, and, in part, by choices he has made and continues to make. He cannot attend family events because the presence of Meghan makes those events into something the hosts cannot manage. He cannot attend without Meghan because that is not how the Sussex operation functions. He cannot easily signal a desire for reconnection because every signal gets processed through the Sussex PR machine and becomes a narrative rather than a genuine gesture. And so he sits in Montecito, watching from a distance, as the family gathers around a cousin he genuinely loves, at a celebration he genuinely wanted to be part of, and has no clean way into the room. There is something almost Shakespearean about it. The person most visibly excluded is also one of the people who, at a human level, the host would have genuinely wanted present. The exclusion is not malicious. It is structural. It is the logical outcome of a sequence of decisions that, taken one at a time, each seemed manageable, and together have built a wall that nobody is quite sure how to dismantle. The Geneva pattern, and what it reveals. Something happened recently in Geneva that is worth reflecting on in this context. Meghan attended a high-profile event, alone without Harry, 6,000 miles from home. She took the stage. She gave the speech. She managed the platform independently. So the idea that Harry must always be present for Meghan to show up in public is clearly not absolute. When the occasion suits her, when the platform is hers, what? In the optics serve her brand. She has demonstrated she can operate entirely without him. But weddings are different. Weddings are not platforms. They are not brand moments. They are family events where the hierarchy of attention is fixed. It belongs to the couple getting married. And in that kind of setting, Meghan cannot be the center of the story without actively taking something away from the people whose day it is. That combination, no clear brand benefit, no opportunity to control the narrative, and the near certainty of unfavorable press comparison with Catherine, makes this wedding exactly the kind of event she would not want to attend even if she were invited. Harry misses out either way, and he is beginning, by all accounts, to understand that more clearly than he has at any previous point. What Harry must be thinking. There is a version of Harry's life, the version that existed before everything changed, where the 6th of June is just a happy day, a cousin's wedding, a chance to catch up with family, a summer celebration with people he has known since childhood. In that version, he is in the room. He is making Peter laugh. He is probably slightly overdressed for a British summer, and he is part of something. He will not be in that room. And the road that led from that version of his life to this one was built out of choices. Not all of them his, but enough of them his, that he cannot fully lay at anyone else's door. Families are complicated, estrangement is painful, and the particular grief of missing someone's happiness because the situation has become too entangled to navigate is one that is not exclusive to royals. But most people navigating that grief are doing so privately. Harry is doing it in full public view, and the view is not kind. That is the full picture behind the Peter Phillips wedding. Who is going, who is not, and what it tells us about where Harry genuinely stands right now. Here is the question I want you to answer in the comments. If you were Peter Phillips, would you have found a way to get Harry there, or is the risk simply not worth it to the people whose day it actually is? Drop your answer below. I read every comment, and this community always lands on something worth thinking about. Not subscribed yet? Do it now. Notifications on. The next video is going to dig into something that directly affects Harry's immediate future, and it is developing faster than most people realize. See you there.